In an ancient Roman village, there lived a little girl named Lucia. Her family was wealthy, and her parents gave her many luxuries: golden bracelets, silk dresses, and the latest carriage. However, Lucia always felt empty inside. Although she had all these things, happiness seemed fleeting. Every time she acquired something new, it wouldn't be long before she started feeling unsatisfied again. One day, a wise old philosopher came to the village. His name was Seneca, and he was known for his vast knowledge, wisdom, and calm demeanor. The villagers had heard of his reputation, knowing that he had once been the emperor's tutor, but he now lived a simple life. Lucia was very curious about the philosopher, so she decided to visit him. When she arrived at Seneca's small cottage, she saw him sitting in a plain wooden chair, with only a cup of water and a few slices of bread in front of him. "Respected Master Seneca," Lucia asked, "you were once the tutor of the emperor, so why do you now live such a simple life? Don't you want better food, more beautiful clothes, and a larger house?" Seneca smiled and replied, "Little girl, having these things can indeed bring temporary happiness, but such happiness is fleeting. True happiness does not come from the amount of material wealth we possess, but from how we view life. I choose to live simply because I know that external things cannot bring lasting inner peace." Lucia frowned and asked, "But I have so many things. Why am I still unhappy?" Seneca pointed to the golden bracelet on her wrist and said, "Imagine if you lost this bracelet today, how would you feel?" Lucia immediately became anxious and clutched the bracelet tightly. "I would be very sad. This is one of my most precious possessions." Seneca nodded and continued, "That's the problem. If we place our happiness on external things, then once we lose them, our happiness will disappear along with them. These things cannot truly satisfy us, because they may no longer belong to us at any moment. Inner peace, however, is something we can control ourselves." Lucia began to understand what Seneca meant. She looked down at her golden bracelet and then gently removed it, placing it on the table. "Maybe I shouldn't let these things determine my happiness," she said. Seneca smiled and nodded. "Exactly. When you learn to cherish inner peace and virtue, rather than chasing external wealth, you will discover that true happiness comes from within, not from the things around you." From that day on, Lucia began to learn how to live a simpler life, spending more time reading, meditating, and helping others. Although she still had her luxuries, she no longer relied on them for happiness. She finally understood that true happiness comes from inner peace and wisdom, not from gold and treasures.